Today's story is about my experience, in fact, how somebody molested me as a very young child, as a as a very young child, as a baby, as a matter of fact. So yeah guys, let's get into it. So I'll be doing this video with my baby today because if I don't include that, or if I don't involve her, she's gonna be disturbing me a whole lot, and I would better avoid her than have her with me. That way I can control her movements and everything she'll be doing. Yeah, so also the title and you're like, hey, what's up, what's going on, what's about this, what's this about? And don't worry, I'll be telling you what exactly happened, and this is my story, this is my truth, and this is the reason why when a lot of people who have been abused, especially sexually, when they really find it hard to come out to say what their experience is at the time, and you find them coming out much later, like years after, you're like, why did she talk? Why didn't he talk? Why didn't he talk? This I can personally like so much relate and understand those people because I've been there. There's this saying that until you experience something firsthand, it's always usually easy for you to stand at a distance and pass all manner of derogatory comments and everything, but you don't actually want to pray for these things to happen to you. Okay, so my baby is saying hi. Once upon a time, I think when I was even now I'm still very angry. Even now, like, I'm still very mad and angry. I've forgiven him, I've let go, but I'm still pained. Each time I remember this story, I'm still always like, no, it shouldn't have been the guy of everybody. The people we bring into our homes, honestly, it's always out of the place of kindness, compassion, empathy, that you think, oh, I can be of assistance and I can be of help to this person, but I don't want to say they are not grateful or they don't see what you are doing, but they can be very dangerous. Never dedicate. You're just busy with this. So while I was way younger, I think when I was like 5 or 6, my dad is this person who loves people, who loves to help people. It gives him so much joy. I think that is his essence, that is his destiny, because it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter the number of persons we already have in our home, my father is still going to go out the next day and bring home somebody that you don't even know where they are coming from or their roots. But it's all right. Like I was saying, that was the kind of person my father was until his dying days. That was his mission. That was what he kept doing. Hey, Jesus. Seriously, I have to let Bobo go. Olive, you have to go. Go meet mommy. Even though she's still gonna be back in the next 2 seconds. Bye. So that was the kind of person my dad was, and it was not, I don't know how the mothers actually, I don't know how they were able to cope with the whole, because I can imagine modern day setting, like a family, a normal average family of this age and time, having you, a woman, having a husband who operates like that. As much as you want to be a good person and all, I don't understand. I don't think it's going to work. Like, personally, for me, we can help people, but let me not even go into that. So one of these persons that my father brought into our house was this guy whose name, I don't want to call him his name now, I'll call him Akin. Okay, why am I even not calling him his name? Like, well, let me call him Akin. So
it was one of these, my father was a teacher, he was a school head, was a principal. So Aki was one of the students who was supposed to enroll for JAM, YA, causes GCE, SSE exams, and it got to the point of payment and he wasn't paying. Like every other person had paid. So Aki was not paying, he wasn't turning up. So my dad was worried about him, like, what's up with this guy? Why is he not paying? So he asked his colleagues about him, and that was when he got to find out that he was an orphan, and apparently it was his grandmother who was raising him and all that. My dad was moved, the normal person he was, and so he looked for the guy and he brought him to our house. He enrolled him for the exams and all of that. And while he came to my house, to my home, I remember vividly well, my mom was so kind to this guy. It was more like she took him as her own son, cared so much for him, that I remember that at late nights when he just decided to show in the house, because sometimes he goes to his granny's and other times he comes to the house, that even on days when he decides to show late in the night, my mom would still go like, oh, Eba me arrange a coffee, Akin, like, get Akin something to eat and all of that. Yeah, so at some point he also acted as a driver to my dad, because he could drive at that time and my dad had phobia for driving, so he volunteered, and why not? So he takes my dad around town sometimes whenever he's around. And on this fateful day, I was a very bright child as a baby. Of course, I was a everywhere baby. I was like, you always see me in the crowd. I was there. You must know I'm here. So, and it made a lot of people attracted to me, got a lot of persons to like me and all that. And Aki was one of these persons who liked me as a big bro, so I was always warm towards him. And so whenever I come to the house, he goes like, mommy, where is Titi? And wherever I am, I would rush from wherever I was and run into his arms, and he would carry me up high, and I enjoyed being in his company and all of that. Until this day when, he came to the house, and I think he and my dad came to the house and he asked about me. In fact, I had him coming into the house, and after greeting my dad, I ran into his arms and he was like, come. Then I went with him. Then he took me to the back of the house, like to where the car was parked, and went into the corner and was like, I should come. Like at that point, I was young. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what it was, but there is this thing we call instinct. My instinct kind of told me, I knew something was wrong about this whole move, but I wasn't so sure. So I went with him and he said I should give him my hand. So I gave him my hand. I was thinking he wanted to give me sweets, Nico, Tom or whatever. How could I have thought about what he was about to do? So I gave him my hand and he took my hands and dragged it into his trousers, making like he took my hands and dragged it into his trousers. I started, touching his mouth, rubbing his mouth with my hand. And I just knew that I was in danger at that point. I was shocked at first, and the next thing I did was I jacked my hand and I ran as fast as I could into the house and away from him. Anybody would have said that he didn't touch you, he didn't rape you, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. But the damages of that single experience, I can't forget. And yes, I'll tell you guys more.